A Trip to the Moon, cinema's first transition from technical science to art and the creation of deeper experiences. In December 1895, the Lumière brothers unveiled the cinématographe in Paris. They themselves, however, regarded cinema as an invention without a future, a mere tool for recording and reproducing reality. Their one-minute films, such as Workers Leaving the Lumière Factory, did nothing more than mechanically display an event. At this stage, cinema was a scientific technical phenomenon, not an art form. The 1902 turning point, the birth of narrative and experience, the transition from recording to expression and simultaneously from information to experience, occurred in 1902 with the 14-minute film A Trip to the Moon, Le Voyage dans la Lune, directed by Georges Méliès. For the first time, this film demonstrated that the camera could conquer not merely a mirror of nature, but also the realms of imagination, dreams, and narrative. Beyond that, it removed the viewer from the position of a mere observer and immersed them in an imaginary journey with sensory and emotional layers, something never experienced before in any medium in quite this way. How a magician transformed cinema. Méliès, a professional stage magician, used cinema not as a recording device, but as a medium to create impossible worlds. Surreal scenes of landing on the moon, encountering lunar beings, selenites, and the rocket exploding in the moon's eye were made possible through innovative special effects, stop-motion substitution, theatrical lighting, and handcrafted sets. This film was no longer a simple imitation of reality. Instead, a new reality was created, one that immersed the viewer within it. Three fundamental shifts in technology, audience, and creator. This film brought about three fundamental shifts, redefining the function of technology. The camera evolved from a documentation instrument into a storytelling tool. This was the leap that elevated a technical device into a platform for creating meaning, creating an engaged audience. Viewers were no longer passive witnesses to everyday events. They entered an imaginary journey requiring interpretation, empathy, and emotional response. Thus, experience replaced report, institutionalizing the artist's signature. Méliès was recognized not as a technician, but as a creator. His name appeared on the film. He built his own studio, and he laid the foundations of the science fiction genre. Cinema became a domain for individual innovation and personal style. From representing the world to creating worlds. If the Lumière treated cinema as a scientific report, Méliès transformed it into a symphony of dreams and simultaneously elevated it into a medium for creating experiences deeper than what a camera merely records. For this reason, many film historians consider A Trip to the Moon the first artistic film, not because of its technical perfection, which appears primitive by later standards, but because of the paradigm shift in how a medium is perceived, from representing the world to creating worlds, and from transmitting information to immersion in experience.